Hello, movie lovers. This is Does It Hold Up? Box Office Edition, where I go over what were the top 10 movies at this past weekend's box office domestically. What are the top 10 movies of the year so far? How are we doing compared to years of the past? And usually at the end of the show, I break down something a little bit fun, deep dive into something, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen on this episode. I've been extremely busy because I have videos coming out every single day this week. Tomorrow, there's going to be a video coming out where I break down Oscar winners and how they stack up against the BAFTAs, the Critics' Choice, SAG, DGA, or PGA awards. How good are those other shows at predicting Oscar winners? So we got a whole show going on that. Then I'm doing on Thursday 2024 Oscar picks. You know, I've been doing a series here on the channel for a couple months now where I go back in time, or pretend to go back in time, to redo Academy Awards from the past, and we're doing the last episode. It comes out on Thursday in preparation for the Oscars on Sunday. And then on Friday, there's going to be a whole video where I tell you all the picks I would make if I was the Academy this Sunday at the Academy Awards. So there's just a lot going on, but I didn't want to leave you guys out with box office stuff, so we're only really going over a few things here. It's going to be a rather quick show, so let's go ahead and get into it with the top 10 movies at this past weekend's box office. In first place was Captain America: Brave New World. Still, I'm surprised by that, but it did fall a mighty 69%. It only brought in $28.1 million, but it does have a grand total right now of $141 million domestically. Way more than I think a lot of people assumed this movie was going to make. In second place is a new movie to the list, The Monkey, the new Osgood Perkins. Is this one going to be as good as Longlegs from last year? Only time will tell. It brought in just over $14 million. In third place is Paddington in Peru in its second week with another $6.5 million. It's only got a total right now of $25.2 million, but the Paddington movies never really do that well here domestically until they hit streaming and or video rental, at-home viewership. All of a sudden, those numbers skyrocket. In fourth place is Dog Man in its fourth week with another $5.8 million. It's slowly working its way toward $100 million. I don't think it's quite going to get there. I don't think this is going to be on the level of the Minions or Inside Out or Toy Story or anything like that. I don't think this is going to be a new massive animated franchise. In fifth place is Neja 2 in its second week with another $3 million, $14.8 million for this movie here domestically. But again, worldwide, it's now been one of the highest grossing movies of all time. In sixth place in its third week is Heart Eyes with $2.7 million. $26.6 million is its current total domestic haul. I saw this movie over the past week, and I actually saw 5 movies in 5 days, trying to play catch up with a lot of movies that I missed. Heart Eyes might have been the best one that I saw in those 5 days. I saw Captain America: Brave New World, followed by, oh gosh, then Heart Eyes. No. Oh man, what did I see? Then Paddington in Peru, then Heart Eyes, then Love Hurts, and finally a new movie that we're going to talk about in just a second, The Unbreakable Boy. Captain America 4. Quick thing, I think the movie wasn't very good. I would probably give it 2 out of 5. I think it answered a couple questions the MCU had, but I don't think it really did enough to stand out on its own. When you compare it to every other Captain America movie, this one just falls incredibly short. Is it the worst Marvel movie yet? No, absolutely not. But I wouldn't say it was very good either. Then Paddington in Peru, fantastic movie. Fantastic. It's kind of a step down from the other 2 Paddington movies. Current ranking for those would be like Paddington 2, then Paddington 1, and then Paddington in Peru coming up in last. But that's like saying an A+, an A+, and an A. I mean, that's how good the movie is. A little weird to take him out of London and put him back in the jungle, and Sally Hawkins not being in the movie really messed things up. So that was a little weird. But Heart Eyes, saw on Friday, absolutely loved it, except for the last 25 minutes. The ending kind of killed the movie for me. It just really came out of left field. They used a bunch of dumb mojo, blowjo, whatever bullshit to explain what was happening, and it was like, didn't really need that. I wish they would have kept it a little more simple, but what are you going to do? The rest of it, though, perfect blend of rom-com and horror. Absolutely incredible. And that's my dog howling, if you can hear that. ambulance going past, she's got to get, there it is. She's got to get that in. Then, and then on Saturday, she's just not stopping. Sorry, guys. Then on Saturday, saw Love Hurts with Kiwi Kwan, and man, it's a bad movie, guys. The numbers aren't lying. It's just a bad movie. It's written terribly well. He is excellent in it. If you're a fan of his, I definitely say check it out when it hits streaming in a couple weeks or something. Don't waste your money seeing it. But he's excellent. It's just Ariana DeBose isn't very good in it, and the script is absolutely terrible. And then we'll talk about the other movie in just a second. Back to the list. In 7th place, in its 10th week, was Mufasa the Lion King with $2.5 million. 245 is what that movie has now made domestically. Nowhere near what The Lion King in 2019 did, but still doing fairly well after only opening up to $30 million. In 8th place is another new movie called The Unbreakable Boy, starring Zachary Levi. It made $2.4 million. That's what its current total is. In 9th place is One of Them Days in its 6th week, doing really, really well, with just under $1.4 million for a total of $45.9 million, way more than I think anybody ever expected for that movie. And in 10th place is Love Hurts in its 3rd week with $1.1 million, a total of $14.5 million overall. The other movie I saw on Sunday was that movie in 8th place, The Unbreakable Boy. I gotta tell you, the story's kind of interesting. The idea behind it is fun. The kid who played Austin, the young man in the movie, is incredible. But the movie overall was just incredibly messy. It didn't really have a narrative through line that it was following. It was more about the parents' emotional state in their marriage rather than the boy. So I don't really understand why it's called The Unbreakable Boy. It should be basically the who gives a shit about the kid because we got our own marital problems going on. And Zachary Levi is absolutely horrendous in it. I think they could have done, any other actor would have been better in this. I think back to a movie, I believe that came out in 2017, Gifted, with Chris Evans. You kind of needed that performance in this movie to really care about the character, and Zachary Levi just isn't good enough to get there. So Unbreakable Boy, fine movie. It will run you through the emotional gamut of everything that you could possibly need and or want out of this movie emotionally. But in the end, you're going to be feeling a little hollow. So is it worth checking out? Eventually, but there's no rush. There's no rush. The next chart we're going to look at is the weekend-to-weekend comparison. Every week here on the show, we do a comparison, 24 to 25, weekend-to-weekend. How are we doing compared to last year? Because we can't know where we're going if we don't know where we've been. Is the box office healthier now than it was a year ago and even 2 years ago? Are we trending upward? So let's go ahead and take a look at this line chart to see how well 2025 is doing. Quick correction, actually. Last week I messed up. I had missed the previous week. I didn't have a chance to make the show. So when I was talking about the weekends, I actually messed up. I said that it was the 6th weekend, but it wasn't. It was the 7th weekend. The numbers got a little messed up here. They're adjusted now. So we're going to talk about the last 2 weeks, not just this past week. All right, let's go to it. It is the 8th week this week, but let's go ahead and flash back. Last week made $151.7 million domestically. That was compared to 2024's $78.7 million. Originally, I said that $151 million was in comparison to $35 million in the 6th weekend, and that was wrong. But the 6th weekend, 2025, did make about $54 million, so did beat that 35. In fact, 2025 has only lost 1 weekend so far, the 2nd weekend. You can see that it's just a little bit lower on that line. So that's where that correction was. And last week, Bob Marley was the #1 movie in 2024. Bob Marley is the #1 movie in 2024 again this past weekend. And it led the way to all movies making about $60.4 million. 2025, with Captain America holding not terribly as bad as I thought it was going to. Let's just say that. And with The Monkey debuting pretty well, all movies made about $76.6 million, so about $16 million more than last year. So that's pretty good. You can see that the box office is relatively healthy compared to the same time frame last year. Can it continue? I don't know. We had some really big movies come out in 2024, Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Moana 2. These were all really big movies that I don't know if there's a lot lined up this year that can compete with that. But if the rest of the movies can kind of make up that difference, I think it's going to be a healthy year for the box office. And the final chart we're going to look at in this particular episode is the 2025 top 10 movie chart. It's not just movies that came out in 2025. I can't speak today. It's all movies that have made money since January 1st. So if they came out in 2024, what I do is I take their current total and minus what they made in 2024 to find out what their total is here in 2025. So let's go ahead and take a look at that chart. A little bit of movement on this chart. Just two places. Captain America, Brave New World jumps up into the first spot with that $141 million, which pushes Mufasa the Lion King down to second with $117 million. Sonic 3's in third with $83 million, followed by Dogman, $78 million. Moana 2 in fifth with $54.8 million. Nosferatu in sixth with $47.5 million. One of Them Days in seventh with $45.9 million, just about $46 million. A Complete Unknown in 8th place with 43.8, followed by Wicked with 39.8, and then Den of Thieves 2 rounds out this top 10 with $36 million. Okay, that's it for the show this week. Glad I could give you guys a little bit of like a review of some of the movies that I checked out this past weekend. But, just wait. There's great stuff coming this week. So like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about all of this. Did Brave New World surprise you by holding better than I thought? I thought it was easily going to drop in like the 75 to 80% range. It only dropped about 68%. So not great, but it opened relatively high. Still didn't drop as far as the Marvels, which was in that 78% range. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos coming later this week. And until I see you again, just remember to be good to yourself, kind to others, and keep watching movies.